excited to see you, and I'm so appreciative of you guys coming in and getting settled in, because I think you're in for a real treat. I think you're in for someone who's going to motivate you and inspire you, because I know I've been motivated and inspired by Nick Vujicic, and Nick has a great story, and I know that you are going to listen, as you always do, as awesome wolves. So let's give Mr. Vujicic, Nick, a big round of applause and welcome him.
Thank you very much. No, thank you. Good, is it morning, afternoon? Afternoon, everyone. How you doing? Good. I live in California, so I'm on Pacific Standard Time right now. My name is Nick. I don't know if anyone knows where I'm originally from due to my accent. Anyone pick it up? Australia. Anyone want to go to Australia one day? Yeah, it's a pretty cool country. Me and my wife actually lived in Grapevine before we got married, and we've now been married for 3 years, and we have a 2-year-old little boy. His name is Kiyoshi. He's already my height. He's beautiful, and he gives me sometimes a high five on my shoulder and sometimes slap me in the head. It's really cool. Just being a father, and you know, I don't know who you are and what you're going through, and I just hope to inspire you. I'm sure you've seen some YouTube videos maybe of me. Maybe you see me swimming and golfing and fishing and surfing. I've actually done skydiving as well. My knees were shaking. And in my life, I want you to know that my parents always said that you don't know what you can achieve until you try it. And we always have ups and downs. You see my foot? Ups and downs, right? I love my foot. I've got 2 toes. Peace, how you doing? And I can actually type on a normal computer about 53 words a minute. And this is my wheelchair. It's a pretty cool thing here. You know X-Men, right? What's that guy's name? Yeah, Xavier, that's the one. Check this out. Like, I want to get this wheelchair, like, you know, like your hydraulics and stuff in the cars. Can you imagine a wheelchair bouncing, boots, 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 you know, like really, like a cool big stereo. But so basically I drive it with my foot, and I've got 2 wheelchairs actually, and this is one of them. This one's a really fast one when it's fully charged. But you know, when doctors actually saw me, they never thought I was going to be able to walk. And my parents were like wondering what happened, and my brother and my sister who were born after me, they have arms and legs. My son has arms and legs, and there are some times where things happen where it doesn't actually make sense why bad things are happening, and some things you can change and some things you cannot. But I want you to know that you have a choice every single day. Every single day to either be angry for what you don't have or be thankful for what you do have. Guys, this microphone's cutting out like every minute. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if my hands are in the way of the signal or anything. But guys, let me tell you a funny story. A kid came up to me and he looks at me and he looks at my head and looks at my body and looks at my head and looks at my body and he says, "Well, at least you got a head." You know, talk about being thankful. And I don't know about you, but I like soccer. I was playing soccer one day, and you know, when you put a full-size soccer ball next to me, it's halfway my height. And so one day, my friend was kicking a ball to me, and he says, "Are you ready?" And he was like way back, and I was a little scared. My palms were sweaty a little bit. And he gets ready, and he goes, whoop, boom, like this. And this ball's coming at me like a missile. You understand me? And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And you know when something's coming for you and it doesn't matter where you go, you're dead, like it's gonna hit you? I'm thinking, I'm gonna hit the ball before the ball hits me. So, have you seen The Matrix? Alright, it's real, y'all, alright? I jump up in the air and it felt like it went all in slow motion. And I jumped up in the air and I went, whoo, whoo, like that. And the ball came, hit my foot, bent it backwards, and I heard I sprained my foot. And for 3 weeks, I was in my bed. And I'm like, man, talk about feeling disabled or something, man. And I realized, all the people who have arms and legs, let me ask you, am I cool enough to be your friend? Are you sure? But I have no arms and legs. Doesn't matter. So here it is. Arms and legs or not, am I still Nick? Yeah? Does it change my value? So what I want you to know is, if it actually doesn't matter for how you look, then why do you actually make it such a big deal? Why do we tease each other for how we look if it actually doesn't matter at all? And I realize arms and legs don't give me happiness. You can have arms and legs but still not be happy. You can have things but still wish that you had more. And I just want you to know right here, right now, do you think that I've gone through something difficult in my life? Yeah, but I'll tell you something right now. I actually believe that it's worse being in a broken home than having no arms or legs. Because you can have arms and legs, but be disabled on the inside with fear. And then at school, fear of what people think of you, fear of never making it, fear of never feeling good enough. And a lot of people came up to me and teased me, and I didn't know what to do with all the unwanted attention. And one kid came up and he's like, "What happened?" And I went up to him and I said, "Cigarettes." And I have fun with people's reactions, like, people come up and like, "Well, do I shake your hand?" I'm like, "No, just give me a hug," And so I hug people, and the scary thing about hugging so many people is that they can just pick me up and take me home. What am I going to do, like hit them or something? But, when you don't see the full picture, it's hard to see hope sometimes. A funny story about not seeing a full picture. I was one day in a car, and I'm in the front seat, and we're at the traffic lights, and this car comes up next to us, and this girl's looking at me. So I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, I'm looking at her. Now all she sees is my head, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna freak you out. So I get the seatbelt in my mouth and I loosen it like this, so then I can freely move. Now she's looking at me, "Why are you eating your seatbelt?" And so imagine all you see is my head. I just did this. And she thought that my head did a 360-degree spin. And she's like, "Oh my gosh!" It was really, really funny. I don't know how your elementary school days were, but they were difficult for me. And when I was 8 years old, I was called a lot of names. And you see my book over here, right? Let's say that this represents the future. And when I'm 8 years old, I don't necessarily see the future. You can't see your future, okay? And you don't know what's around the corner until you go around the corner. Does that make sense? Some people, though, get really discouraged and feel like they don't have the strength to keep on going. And I was at school, and every morning, my mom and dad, they, help me get ready for school. "Okay, Nick, are you ready for school?" "Yes, Mommy." "Now, don't worry about what other people think of you or say. You're beautiful. You're special." "Okay, yes, Mommy." And then, I go to school, and, I'm pretty happy, and I go to school, and then the first student who sees me like, blah, 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 and I'm like, and I come home, I'm like, "Mommy and Daddy, I don't want to go to school anymore." "Why not?" "Because they're teasing me." "Oh, that's okay. Don't listen to them. You're beautiful. You're special." And I'm like, I don't want to be special. I wanted to look like others. I wanted to be able to ride a bicycle and do so many things. And there was just some things that I had to accept. But what was really scary are the thoughts that come to you because of other people's thoughts about you. When you get a tomato, everyone say tomato. Yeah, in Australian, say tomato. When you get a tomato seed, what grows? Tomatoes, right? When you get whatever seed, okay. So if you get seeds of encouragement and love, does that make sense? Then love grows, encouragement grows. If you receive a seed of bitterness and you let that seed grow, then guess what grows? Bitterness. Fear. Lies. And there are some lies that I was starting to believe. Now, we know that when I'm 32 years old, I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I've traveled 54 countries, met 13 presidents, my books are #1 in 7 countries as we speak, spoken to 6 million people face to face, 3,000 speaking engagements, traveled 3 million miles around the world, and that's no joke. 400 million people saw me on TV in 2013. I love my wife, I love my son, and me and my wife are expecting a second child. I wouldn't change a thing. We were in Indiana last year, and 276 schools saw me speak for 1 hour through the internet. We're going to be doing statewide Florida and Ohio in 2015, and hopefully Texas in 2016. Can you see my smile? It's real. Does that mean I don't cry? No, I still cry. We still have those ups and downs. But what I want to ask you today is, who are you? Are you really, really worried about what people think of you, and then you're like, oh, I wish I was more pretty. Oh, I wish I was more taller. Oh, I wish I was more shorter. Oh, I wish I was more smarter. Oh, I wish I had the money. Oh, I wish I had a girlfriend. Oh, I wish I had a boyfriend. You know, people feel like they need to have these different things in their life to be happy. You know, those tough guys, you know, holding their girlfriend's hand, walking down the school. Yeah, she my girl. Yeah, she's hot, you're not. Yeah, that's my girl. You touch her, I kill you, you know. Like they think they need to say the F-bomb to be cool. Like they need big biceps to be cool. Guys, my biceps were so big they fell off. You understand me? Now you say that I'm cool enough to be your friend, but you never ask me how good I'm at school. You never ask me how much money I have. You never ask me anything of that. How many friends I have. You haven't asked me anything of that. If I've ever done drugs, if I get drunk. You never ask me that, but you still say that I'm cool. But what that means is then I don't need to get drunk. I don't need to use the F-bomb. I don't need to be popular. I don't need to do what anyone else does. I don't need to be someone I'm not. I just need to be the best me I can be. Does that make sense? So then there's no reason to try to be someone you're not. It's okay for you to be you. I love you. Every single girl, you're beautiful just the way that you are. And every single man, you young guy, I'll tell you right now, you're the man. Peace. But what I want you to understand is that your choices in life will determine your destiny. I nearly went through with the worst decision of my entire life. At age 8, dude. At age 8, I was depressed. Why? Because I couldn't see my future. I thought to myself, I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be a burden to my parents for the rest of my life. Maybe I should just give up. I'm not going to get a job. I'm not going to get married. I can't even hold my wife's hand. How am I going to hold my kids when they're crying? I'm a nobody. Nick, just give up. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to jump off the table. Because if I did that, I'll break my arm or something, all right? But sadly, at age 10, I actually tried to end my life. I tried to drown myself in my bathtub. And I want you to know that sometimes life is so bad that you feel like there is no hope. How many feet do you think I have? Put your hand up if you think I have 1 foot. Go. Put your hand down. Put your hand up if you think I have 2 feet. Go. Put your hand up if you think I have 3 or 4. All right. How many truths are there? Hello. How many truths are there? Good. Now, are you curious now to know the truth? But it's not going to change your life if you actually know how many feet I have. You're like, I don't care. I want to see the other foot. The truth is, you see 1 foot. The truth is, I have 1 foot. But if you only believe what you see, you may be missing out on the greatest chapter of your life. I actually have 2 feet. It's a little shy one. Here we go. Can you see this? Oh. Can you see it there? Yeah. Oh. That foot you couldn't see, but it's there. Your hope and purpose, sometimes you can't see, but it's there. You know, when I was 23 years old, I was speaking in front of 200 people in a crowd, and I saw a little boy with no arms and no legs being held up above the crowd. I was 23, he was 19 months old, and I looked at him and I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Like, that's my mini me. He had a little foot just like me. We brought him up on stage right here, and he's got big brown eyes, big smile, looking up at me. And I can't give him a high five, so I gave him a low 2. And it was so cool hugging his mom and his dad, and then seeing my mom hug his mom and my dad hug his dad. Do you believe that when I was 10 years old that I just wish that I met someone like me? Yeah, if I just met someone like me, then I know that I am not alone. Well, I didn't get that miracle, guys. But now I can be that miracle for little Daniel. And 3 years ago, I went to his school. He was getting bullied and teased, and I went in my wheelchair to his school, and I ran them all over. No, I didn't, but I went there and I shared a quick message, and now he's like someone who the school respects and understands that, yeah, Daniel has no arms and legs. He's different, but he's still cool. I want to ask you today, do you have hope? Do you know the truth of who you are? Because some people don't. And we come to school and, we try to be cool and, I'm in my group and my group doesn't speak to this group and this group doesn't speak to that group and I don't even know why we don't speak to them, but if I speak to them, then my friends aren't my friends anymore. It's weird. It's sort of weird to even see so much division in one school sometimes that I just don't think we understand what our actions and words can actually do. Do you trust me, guys? Do you trust me with the minutes that I have here with you, what I'd like to do in the next couple minutes? Can I have your cooperation for the next 3 minutes? Okay. So I don't want to talk about another school. I want to talk about your school. Everyone say our school. All right, so in your life, you have a choice with every word and every action. What do some of our mamas say? If you don't have anything nice to say, then what? The reason why I did not give up was because of the love of my parents. I didn't want to leave them with that pain, so I decided to stay. Do you think that my bullies knew what was going on in my heart and my mind? Do you think that my bullies knew that I hated my life because of them? What do you think a bully is? Is a bully that is just someone who just picks on one person continually again and again and again? What about gossip? What's worse, starting gossip or spreading gossip? Are they both bad? Can they really hurt people? So I want to talk about your school. Say it again, our school. Now with your trust and cooperation, and this includes all the teachers as well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick anonymous survey. And I've been doing this now for 2.5 years. And the only way that I can get an answer from you without your neighbor knowing your answer is in a moment I'm going to get you to bow your heads and put your hands in the air. And with your hand open, I'm going to ask you 4 questions. And if your answer to any of those questions are a yes, you simply put your hand in a fist. Trust me, I can see every single person from here, and no one's going to be watching your answers. So, if I see any, and I can't see maybe everyone's eyes, so what I'm going to get you to do is bow your head so I see the top of your head right now, and put your hand up in the air. One hand, nice and high and vertical. Open your hand. I'm going to ask 4 questions. The first question is this. Put your hand in a fist if you've actually thought of committing suicide. Go. Open your hand. Put your hand in a fist if you've actually tried to commit suicide. Go. Open your hand. Put your hand in a fist if you've actually tried to commit suicide because of abuse at home. Go. Open your hand. And put your hand in a fist if you've actually tried to commit suicide because of bullying in this school. Go. Open your hand. Okay, you can put your hands down, open your eyes. Ma'am, how many students do we have here? Right here. And how many in the whole school? Thank you. So 500 here, total school 780, including these guys. Great. So here we go, guys. Here are the results. 1 out of 5 have told me they have thought of committing suicide. That means that if you look left and if you look right, 1 in every 5, guaranteed, 4 people down to your right, 4 people down to your left, on average, have thought of giving up. So what I've done is I've looked at a section and now I'm going to extrapolate. So out of 500 here, 100 students have thought of committing suicide. 100. Out of those 100, 40 have tried. 10 have tried to commit suicide because of the abuse at home. And 27, roughly, have actually tried to commit suicide because of bullying in this school. Not thought of, but tried. Is that higher than you thought? So how do you know who in this school is actually being abused at home? You don't. So if you extrapolate it to 780 students here, you're talking about 35 students who've actually tried to commit suicide because of bullying in this school. If I were you and a speaker came to tell me that 35 students at my school actually hate their life because of bullying, you know what I would decide if I were you? That I would not play any part of gossip, of teasing, of bullying. If I don't have anything nice to say, then I will not say anything at all. Some people think that it's tough to tease. It ain't tough. Tough shows strength. Does that make sense? This wheelchair, it ain't tough. It's fast, but it ain't tough. Let me show you how fast this thing goes. I need some elevator music. Here we go. Let me show you how fast this thing goes. It's not bad, okay? It's not bad. It does a little, you know, whop, right? But it's not tough. You could stop this wheelchair. It's not that strong. You know it would be silly of me to tell you, this is my wheelchair and it's the toughest thing in the world because one day we got a Matchbox car and you know, we got some fishing line and I towed a Matchbox car behind my wheelchair all day long. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. That's stupid, right? My other wheelchair is tough. My other wheelchair, one day, towed 2.5 tons. There was a car in my driveway that would not start. And we backed up that wheelchair and put the car in neutral, and my wheelchair pushed that thing like there's no tomorrow. Is that tough? Tough. Do you think it's difficult or easy to tease me? Pretty easy, right? If I was in your school, would you tease me or not? Some people say, maybe. Some people think that teasing makes the other person stronger. Wrong. Some people think that they're actually not going to tease me because, well, I'm not going to tease a limbless kid because, you know, look at him. He's already going through something. Right? But you don't know what that person next to you is actually going through at home and in their heart and in their mind. Some people think that I got a whole reputation. Yeah, I'm a reputation, you know, I'm tough. So I just tease people. It ain't tough. It ain't tough for me to tease you. I can tease you. It ain't cool to tease. If it actually was the coolest thing and toughest thing to do in the world, then let's just get a 3-year-old up here and let's tease him till he cries because it's cool and it's tough. It ain't tough. I could tease you, I could tease your friends, I could tease your family, I could tease your favorite celebrity in the world, I could tease your favorite music, I could tease your favorite car, I could tease your clothes, I could tease anything about you. It ain't difficult to tease anyone. So why do you think it's tough? Does that make sense? You know what's tough? Standing up for someone who's getting teased. You know what's tough? You know what's hard to do? When you hear gossip, to not spread it and even tell someone to stop. That's what strong is. No? So I want to ask you, who are you? And how do you know if you're a bully? Here's my rule. Everyone say Nick's rule. My rule is that if 3 people think that you are a bully, guess what? You're a bully. Is anyone's reputation worth someone else's life? Yes or no? Because if you think you do have a reputation, that you feel like you need to remain tough and cool, I feel sorry for you. First of all, for everyone, I want to say this very clearly. I love you. I believe in every single one of you. Don't worry what people think of you. When the world says you're not good enough, get a second opinion. Does that make sense? Nick, but you don't understand. No, I do. I don't care if you flunk out of every single class. If you've done your best, if you know you haven't done your best, that's between you and yourself. We are here to help you to get through school in the best way you can. But I'll tell you right now, just because you fail doesn't mean you're a failure. Maybe your mom and dad, they only pay attention to you when you've done wrong. And you've never heard your dad say, hey, I'm proud of you. You never heard your mom say, hey, I love you. I want to tell you today, I love you. I'm proud of you when you make the right decisions. I don't care about your academic level. If you do your best, then everything else will fall into place. I don't care what job you're going to get. I don't care if you become a janitor of this school. I want to tell you why. Because janitors changed my life. One janitor, not my mom, not my dad, not my brother, not my sister, not my friends. A janitor at my school looked at me when I was 17 and he said, hey, you're going to be a speaker. And I said, you know what? You're a crazy old man. It's not about what job you get. It's not about what people think of you. It's who you are. At my funeral, they're not going to talk about the achievements. I could die today, have a funeral in 7 days. You don't know that, neither do I. What are they going to talk about? Was Nick a giver or a taker? Was Nick encouraging or discouraging? Did he love people or was he bitter? Who Nick was more important than what was achieved. Does that make sense? So turn around from those lies. If you've ever thought of giving up, or you're one of those people who've tried, please don't give up. The best decision you can make is to not give up. Turn around and take one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. And sometimes you fall down. Let me show you what courage is. I'm going to jump off the table, do a back flip, and land on the floor, okay? Okay, ready? No. Girls, are you ready? No. Boys, are you ready? Here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm joking, man. Are you serious? But sometimes you fall down like this. What's up? So what do you do when you fall down? Okay. You don't know what you can achieve until you... What happens when you fail? What did Thomas Edison make? How many times did he try? Lots and lots. Someone says that he actually tried 10,000 times. Do you know what that means? He failed 9,999 times. What a big fat failure. Someone came up to him and imagine doing an interview. Hey, Thomas, how does it feel failing 9,999 times? You know what he said? I never failed 9,999 times. Now I know 9,999 ways in how not to make a light bulb. Interesting. If I try 100 times to get up and I fail 100 times, am I a failure? I'm going to say it one more time. if I try 100 times to get up and I fail 100 times, am I a failure? Then don't ever think that you are. Your story is not done yet. This microphone's getting caught on my ring. Let me try it this way. If this was the last 30 seconds that you can breathe, who do you need to hug, to say thank you to, and to say sorry to? I don't live my life today with regrets. Everyone say this with me. Yesterday is yesterday. Today is today. And tomorrow is tomorrow. Who are you today? So let me ask you, with the majority of this school in this room who's heard this message, is it okay to continue to tease? So how does the world change? You know, I believe that your generation is the generation to actually end world hunger. We've given away $600,000 through my nonprofit organization, Life Without Limbs, for the orphans, for the hungry, for the sick. I've met teenage girls who've been human trafficked. This world needs help. This world needs love. And I'll tell you right now, I believe we only have nearly 6 million people on my Facebook fan page. We are going for 400 million people under one umbrella, 400 million teenagers to give $1 a day to really make a difference and actually end world hunger. It ain't up to the millionaires or billionaires, it's up to people like me and you to do what we can. It's not okay that people are going hungry today. So I'm going to do what I can do. Put your hand up if you want to make a difference in the world. Go. Put your hand down. Watch this. Don't believe yourself until you're actually ready to change this school. Well, I ain't going to stop because someone else is going to continue. And if I stand up for someone, you know, and they're getting teased, I say, stop that. Oh, look who's stopping bullying at our school. Yeah, you better believe it. That's what I would say if I were you. Get over it. It's all about saving one person's life. Is that a fight worth fighting for? Yeah. So when I ask you, are you ready to stand up for that fight? Today, you have a choice. Will you continue to go the way you're going? Or will you actually say, wow, I didn't realize what gossip, bullying, cyberbullying, teasing, dividing actually does to people? will you be that person to say, you know what, Nick? I get it. I get it. In a moment, I'm going to ask every single one of you to stand to your feet. If you're ready for that challenge. What's the challenge? Someone says something bad to you, you don't attack back. You see someone bullying someone, you stand next to him. Let them know they're not alone. Try and say hi to someone you've actually never said hi to before. Try that. Or if I talk to that person, then my friends aren't going to be friends with me. Guess what? Then they're not worthwhile being your friend because they don't get it. Every single human being is valuable. And if you don't have a friend, you have a friend in me. And I love you. And sometimes you got to be a good friend to find a good friend. Does that make sense? I'm not saying you have to be friends with everyone. That's, in your mind, maybe impossible. But I'm telling you right now, don't be an enemy to anyone. So right now, if you know that you want to make a difference in this school, and you want to say, you know what, enough's enough, it ain't tough, and I'm going to do my best to make a difference in my school, and you realize that the end of bullying starts with you, if that's you, stand to your feet now. By you standing, you're telling me you're serious, right? All right. Now you might be thinking, I wonder if everyone's standing up. The fact is, everyone's standing up. Well, if so-and-so's standing up, I don't think they're going to stop. This ain't about them, it's about you. But I'll tell you right now, if you ain't serious about this, you should just have a seat. If you ain't serious about this, you shouldn't be standing up. Because on behalf of my brother, on behalf of my sister, this is one of the greatest decisions you'll ever make in this school. As a school. Does that make sense? Would you repeat after me? Say, I today make a conscious decision to not tease people, to not be a bully, to not gossip. I will make a decision to never give up. I will make a decision to do the best I can at school, academically, but to also encourage others. If I don't have anything nice to say, I will not say at all anything. So with the permission of the person standing next to you, give them a high five or a hug. Go. You may be seated. If someone extends a handshake, you shake their hand. So, did you enjoy that speech? Did you learn something? Were you inspired some sort of way? Go on. Good. So every single one of you said that. I'm so proud of you. Can you give your school a big round of applause? So put your hand up if you would like to give me a hug, if you could. If you want to give me, I don't shake hands. Okay, so I see every single hand up. Put your hand down. I wish I could hug you all, but if I did that, my arms would fall off. But I'm going to call down 2 groups of people, okay? And I'm going to handpick them with no hands. Ha 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 ha. I just realized what I just said. All right, so here is the first group. And as I call you down, I don't have any fingers to point at you. And so I'm not going to choose anyone who didn't put up their hand. Does that make sense? Okay. So everyone put their hand up. So I'm going to do 2 groups. No, sorry. I'm just saying in the past tense, everyone did put up their hand. So I'm now going to choose the first group. The first group's going to be probably about 20, and the second group's going to probably be about 20. And I'm sorry if I cannot hug you. When I look at you, then obviously eye contact is the only way to verify. And then when we do confirm that it's you, I want you to come down, and I want you to stand up here. We'll get 20 people in the line, and we'll do an express hug line, all right? All right, so I'm going to start here. You with the blue mark on your cheek. Just wait. You and your friend to your left, and your 2 friends to your right. No, his right. That's it. You got, that's 4. That's it. Yep. Okay. That's 4. Who was it? I know I wanted to hug some people over here. No, I've missed them. I don't know now who I wanted to hug again. You with the blue jacket, the guy in the yellow next to you, and the red one next to you. Come on down. And then let's choose someone from here. You guys are a good bunch of people here. You actually are a good bunch of people here. I love you guys so much. Huh? I love you guys. How many got? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just going to shoot out here. Here we go. Real quick. You want to come up and give me a hug? Yeah, go. Come up the front. You want to give me a hug? Come up here. You want to give me a hug? Go up there. You want to give me a hug? Go up there. You don't want to give me a hug? You want to give me a hug? You don't want to give me a hug? You want to give me a hug? You can go up there. All right. You want to go give me a hug? I'll give you a hug right here. Give me a hug. I love you. Give me a hug, honey. You want to give me a hug? Yeah. Put your hands around me, Katie. I love you so much. Thank you. All right. You want to give me a hug? Yeah. Give me a hug, Abras. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Love you guys. All right, so that's enough for the first group. So, you guys know these guys? Awesome. I want you to tell them, I love you. Go. I want you guys to tell them, I love you. Okay, good. Give me a hug. I love you. Give me a hug. Love you. I love you. I love you. Love you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I love you. You guys can go back to your seats. Give them a round of applause, guys. Okay, here we go. Last round, last round. Do you want to come and give me a hug? You and your two friends next to you, one on each side. You and your friend come up here. Yeah, come up on the front. I'll give you a hug. Who here wants to give me a hug real quick? I'll give you a hug. I'll give you a hug. That in the green jacket? Yeah. Yeah, that's you. Come on down. And you in the colorful sweater, come on down. Yeah, that's you. Good. And then you want to give me a hug? You in the green, yeah, you, yeah. Yeah, come on down. You and your three friends, come on down. Two on your left, one on your right. Yep. You're included. No, not you, sorry. Yep, you, yeah, cool. You want to come on down, give me a hug, come on down, yeah, come on, yeah. You want to give me a hug, boss? In the red jacket, you want to give me a hug? Come on down, man. You three guys. Give me a hug, man. Love you very, very much. Thank you. You know, I want to hug everyone up here with you. Come over here. What's your name? Dear Ridge. Love you, man. Give me a big hug. I love you so much. Thank you. All right. And you two girls with your hands up. You're the last one. You're the very last one. Yeah, yeah, you come on down. All right, great. Here we go. Okay, everyone say to these guys, we're going to wait for these last couple. So everyone say, I love you. And you guys say, I love you. All right, good. Give me a hug. You're first. Come up here. Love you. Love you. Thank you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Give me a big hug. You're so welcome. I love you. Love you. Love you. I love you. Love you. Hey, love you. Love you so much. Hey, love you. Teachers need a hug. Love you. Love you, boss. Hey, that's it, man. Go big or go home. Love you so much. I love you. I love you. Let's give them a hand as they go back to their seats. All right, everyone say last serious note. I've been at 800 schools, okay, in 54 countries. And when someone goes through something difficult, the worst part about it is getting through it alone. The difficult part about difficult things is fighting it alone. Does that make sense? So if you've ever thought of giving up, first of all, don't. And tell someone. Some people think that it's okay just to tell your friends. I want you to know that some people think it's better to tell your friends than a teacher or a guidance counselor. And I just want you to know that that thought is absolutely wrong. Because your guidance counselors are trained professional adults who have heard stories after stories after stories of very similar things when comparing your story. So please tell someone, tell a teacher, tell a guidance counselor, you can trust them. I'll tell you right now, more than your best friend with that information. Because I've seen, unfortunately, difficult things that were shared with their friends, and then it was just too tempting to share it with someone else. Not because they wanted to expose anything about you, but because they also loved you and they don't know what to do, so they'll tell someone else, and then they tell someone else, and then before you know it, the whole school knows what's going on. That is not healthy. Does that make sense? Even with pure intentions. So tell a teacher, tell a guidance counselor, because you don't have to fight this alone. Does that make sense? Cool. Now on a fun note, everyone say on a fun note. I love you guys, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so thankful that you're actually the first school I ever spoke in Dallas, Texas. You guys are amazing. Your principal is a cool principal. She could not do what she does without the assistant principals and all the team around her. So thank you to all the teachers, and thank you for making this possible. For me, I really want to invite you to an exciting opportunity, but we'll do that at the end. But does anyone have any questions for me? We have a couple minutes. I love you too. I have a couple minutes. If anybody has a question for me, just please put up your hand. We don't need a microphone because I'll come up to you. But if you ever have a question, this is the time now to ask me while we're in this setting. Does anyone have any questions for me before we really conclude and close off? Yes. I am from the part of Australia called Melbourne. I was born there. It's in the south eastern tip of Australia. Born there for 10 years, grew up, and then for 14 years went to Brisbane, which is 1,000 miles north of Melbourne, 500 miles north of Sydney. So 10 years ago, I left Australia to start my ventures out here in California and Los Angeles, and I've been there ever since for 10 years. Yeah. Next question. Thanks for the question. Yes. That's a great question. So how do I eat maybe something that needs hands? Basically, first of all, I have an awesome friend, Udiel up the top. He's a caregiver of mine, and he travels with me. And so 15 days a month, Udi comes with us and travels with us. His wife has been working with us for 10 years as well in the office of our non-profit organization. So long-time friends. And so I get physical help where I need it along the way. But if it's like a food that can be cut up, I put it on a plate. They put it on a plate. I pick it up with my mouth sometimes and feed myself. Sometimes I do that. I've learned how to brush my teeth, comb my hair, dress myself up, but now I can get easier help that way. And then drink through a straw, depends what it is, but most things through a straw. So yeah, it just depends on the circumstance. Yes. Can I drive? That's a great question. There's actually a company in the United States of America who is willing to actually help me adapt a car. I met a limbless guy who can actually drive a car. And he has a joystick with his shoulder, and that goes left, right, and that moves the steering wheel. And then with his little foot, accelerator and brake. So that would be pretty cool. If I ever get a car, I'll come through Grapevine one day, all right?